guess so. Yeah. All right. Let's go.
All right. I think that's going.
Are we
I'm
live?
going to turn that mic down. It's a little hot.
Okay.
Hello. Welcome all to the Sunday service live stream. I hope you guys can hear us.
Yeah, let us know in the chat if you can hear us.
All right.
I can't.
All right. Welcome, guys, to the Sunday service live stream. We are conducting, this is our first go at it. We're going to be conducting a little bit of an esoteric service. Awesome. Thank you, Erky. We're going to be preparing you every Sunday for your magical week ahead. We're going to be talking about what's going on astrologically, reading some select passages from esoteric material, ancient material that we feel is kind of relevant to the astrological predictions.
Yeah.
We will also be doing psychic readings with Dr. Anna Stone.
Hi.
We're both esoteric clergy. We're both seminarians. We just have never performed this live before, so we've been trained in it. So we're going to learn this together. We're going to feel around together, and hopefully we set you up for your magical week, right?
That's the goal.
Yeah. So start off with our ritual purification. If you guys want to follow along at home, you can do just closed eyes, relaxed. Maybe in the following weeks you'll start bringing your own materials to play along. And as this is a Sunday, glorious Sunday, beautiful Sunday, day of the sun, the reason we select the day of the sun to set up our week, this is the day of cleaning, a day of warding, a day of illumination, casting light onto shadows from our magical, our esoteric week before, to consistently work with the sun every Sunday. Kind of cleans us, it purifies us, it gets us ready for the darkness we may approach in our occult work as we probe our subconscious, as we probe the liminal spaces, the spirits, and magic. So we wash with fire and burn with water.
Bring out the bacon.
And for the purification, we are using a purifying incense, a cleaning incense. We have selected myrrh today. Palo Santo works. White sage works, whatever you may use in your magical practice. We sublimate the spirit and the soul under the authority of the Most On High, under the authority of the Creator, the authority of the Master of all. I purify, I sublimate your mind, body, spirit, and soul, under the authority of the Most On High, Master of the universe, Creator of all. As we cleanse ourselves, we use the left hand, or the undominant hand. For the undominant hand is untainted by ambition, untainted by motivation, untainted by the ego and the desires. It is the hand most pure. We consecrate it with salt. And now, as we approach the sun, we burn that incense that attracts his spirits, that attracts his influence. We have selected sandalwood. Any solar incense will work. I offer this to you, O soul, O great illuminator, for you and your spirits, you and your sphere. Mote it be. And now, before we move forward with our service, we will do an invocation of the sun. This invocation will bring him towards us, with us, that he may guide our service today. I have misplaced my wand.
Oh.
It's okay.
Got it?
I have it.
You have it.
I've got it.
Okay.
All right. O sun, you who are the source of riches, the increase of strength, the honor of life, the source of splendor, and the beginning of all goodness, I entrust my entire will upon you, and with it place myself wholly in your hands. I entreat you, on account of my depression, loss, the lessening of my power, and because others gloat over me and do not respect me according to my status, I conjure you by the highest Lord, the creator of all, who is the mover of your motions and the giver of your power, through whom you accomplish your actions, by the obedience with which you obey that creator of all, master of the universe, by the reason you have for helping and saving those who throw themselves at you in your will, that is, those who pray to you and supplicate you with a clear and pure intent. And by the dominion and capability that master of all, creator of the universe, granted you over the planets, turn yourself unto me and liberate my will. Carry it away from worry and sad contemplations. Lead me to my power, my station, and my fortification. Grant that particular individual of this world comes to obedience and dominion. May you deign to grant me the power and strength of all your splendor and excellence, by which I may have fortune and influence in working upon everyone such that they follow and see me. I conjure you by your hidden and concealed noble qualities, by the influence you have in the order of motion, by the influence, power, strength in the works you govern upon the generation of things in this world, by your piety, which reaches the meek, by your fortune, which reaches the great, by your fidelity and legality, which you have toward the master of all, creator of the universe, the highest all being, who granted competence to you, by the debt of assistance that you have for those fleeing to you and beseeching you, by the ways and paths of the heaven which have no parallel upon the earth. Heed my prayer, soul. Understand my request. Pay attention to my words, and complete these petitions with effect. All those with a pure and untarnished will towards you shall have complete salvation. O soul, great illuminator, great combustor, soul of the self, soul of the solar system, we ask that you guide this service today, that you guide us today, all those watching, all those searching, that you guide them, you protect them this week, that you cast light to shadow, that you illuminate our minds, illuminate our souls, and lift us up to you, so that we may become like you, a living example of your power here in the material. Thank you, soul. Mote it be.
So it is.
All right. So we're going to go into the astrological forecast for this week, my friends. Hopefully that this will help guide you in your magic, help you choose which spells you are going to be working with, and what energies you're going to be working with. Now, it's important when we conduct practical magic to remember that practical magic are just the benefits of being a magician. The real work is the work that we do on ourselves, right? So as we move forward into this week, we not only pay attention to how we are exacting our will, which should be in line with the highest will on the world around us, but how we are aligning that will within ourselves towards the greater will of the cosmos. So the most important thing that is going to be happening this week is the entrance into Scorpio season, right? And so right now, today, the sun is resting in Libra, and every day it moves 1 degree. So by Wednesday, Thursday, it will be entering into Scorpio. Now, there's a really important conjunction that is happening today and is going to be happening for the rest of the week. And this conjunction is between Mercury and Mars. And it's happening right here also in Scorpio, right? So Mercury is an androgen. Mercury is diurnal and nocturnal. It is male and female. And what nature it expresses is dependent on what it is aspecting. Now, Mars itself is known as the lesser malefic. And Mars, we associate it with the lesser malefic because of its dominion over things like war, murder, blood, and cannibalism. However, it is important to understand that just because we say something is malefic does not mean that there isn't practical utility for it. Because Mars also dictates stuff like ambition, courage, domination for you, domination in a positive way, right? However, this lesser malefic aspect, as it is influencing Mercury, we're going to see some of the negative traits of Mercury start coming out. Now, Mercury may be associated with those court magicians, with great philosophers who were the subject of kings and worked for kings. But when he is aspecting with something that is malefic, his dominion over thieves, usury loans, stuff that unsavory business practices, this is what's going to manifest when Mercury is aspecting. We're also going to see that there is a little bit of a trine that is happening. Mercury is going to be entering this trine while it is still in conjunction with Mars. So this trine with Saturn, this is another aspect. So we have the greater malefic and the lesser malefic. They're going to be in a trine with each other while Mercury is conjunct. So that's a lot of maleficence that is happening this week because Mercury is basically becoming a malefic planet while the lesser malefic and Mercury are sitting in Scorpio. And everybody kind of associates Scorpio with a prickly jerk kind of person. However, Scorpio is the domicile of Mars, and when Scorpio is well aspected, when it has favorable planets in it, it becomes about courage and about strength, right? Another important thing to notice is the path of the moon as all things pass through the moon, right? So today the moon is sitting right up here. It is entering into Libra, but once we hit Tuesday, Wednesday, it is going to join this conjunction with Mercury and Mars. And on Wednesday particularly, it will be entering its mansion known as the Heart or Al-Kab. Interestingly enough, the spirit that is in charge of that mansion is also in charge of thieves, lost things, stealing, that kind of stuff. So as Luna is entering into this conjunction, we might see more of that thieving aspect kind of come out. So one of the things that we can do during this time, this would be on Wednesday, which would be the transition from Tuesday to Wednesday, which would be Mars Day and would be Mercury's Day. We can see as the moon starts to enter that conjunction, we can make an appeal to Al-Kab, to the spirit in Al-Kab, right? And so one of the offerings that we can make to this spirit, he can help protect you. You might see people stealing from you, making false accusations, false words against you during this time. One of the things that you can do to protect yourself, appeal to the spirit, provide him a cup. He likes goofy cups, right? So if you've got like a little plastic party cup you might have got in Las Vegas or something, he would really enjoy that. You can offer that to him, supplicate him, get him on your side. So while we're looking, what is calling out to me about this entire thing as the sun is entering Scorpio, all the planets are kind of coming into aspect and conjunction in Scorpio. They're becoming overpowered. We're going to not engage in signing any business contracts. We need to be like taking out any loans, signing any kind of documents with somebody that might be falsely misleading us, right? But we can ask for protection. Now, there is one saving grace in this, and this is the sun that is entering into Scorpio. And so how we can flip that is maybe this is a time for us to act with honesty, to be honest with our words. So maybe approaching our boss for a raise if we know honestly that we are in the right, maybe standing up in a position where we know we are in the right, speaking with words. Our words become martial, and the only way that they win in this time, the martial words, is through honesty. It is through integrity, and that is coming with the sun right there. As Mercury becomes a king of lies in this aspect. So we're going to read some select readings. There is a mythology that is happening in the stars this week. These is from Plutarch's On Isis and Osiris, an excerpt from chapter 13. During his absence, the tradition is that Typhon attempted nothing revolutionary because Isis, who was in control, was vigilant and alert. But when he returned home, Typhon contrived a treacherous plot against him and formed a group of conspirators, 72 in number. Now pay attention to that 72. That 72 is very, very important, right? We have 72 goetic demons, 72 Solomonic angels. So this is something we may want to contemplate on. He had also the cooperation of a queen from Ethiopia, who was there at the time and whose name they report as Aso. Typhon, having secretly measured Osiris's body and having made ready a beautiful chest of corresponding size, artistically ornamented, caused it to be brought into the room where the festivity was in progress. The company was much pleased at the sight of it and admired it greatly, whereupon Typhon jestingly promised to present it to the man who should find the chest to be exactly his length when he lay down in it. They all tried it in turn, but no one fitted it. Then Osiris got into it and lay down, and those who were in the plot ran to it and slammed down the lid, which they fastened by nails from the outside and also by using molten lead. When they carried the chest to the river and sent it on its way to the sea through the Tanitic mouth, wherefore the Egyptians even to this day name this mouth the hateful and the execrable. Such is the tradition. They say also that the date on which this deed was done was the 17th day of Aether, when the sun passes through Scorpion, and in the 28th year of the reign of Osiris. But some say that these are the years of his life and not of his reign. So in that passage, we're going to look at the 28th. That is really important, that this Osiris is entombed on the 28th day. So the lunar cycle happens in 28 phases, right? And so when we're approaching the new moon, that is on the 28th day. Now the new moon is happening right once Luna enters this conjunction with Mercury and Mars. And so Typhon is the Greek name for Seth, right? Set. And he is a Martian Egyptian deity, right? So we see Set right here. He's right here in this conjunction, right in Scorpio. So this is happening. This is the time of year that Osiris was tricked and entombed. And so Osiris is an interesting deity. He is both Saturnian and solar, right? When he is resurrected, he is solar. Before he is killed, before he is entombed, he is solar. But while he is entombed, while he is scattered by Mars, by Typhon, that is when he is Saturnian. That is when he represents the putrefaction. This is why the Egyptians would say that to remember during their initiations that Osiris was a black god. So this is actually playing out in the cosmic drama. And we see that the moon is entering the new moon right here, right? So we're going to read another Excerpt. Now the battle, as they relate, lasted many days, and Horus prevailed. Isis, however, to whom Typhon was delivered in chains, did not cause him to be put to death, but released him and let him go. Horus could not endure this with equanimity, but laid hands upon his mother and wrested the royal diadem from her head. Hermes put upon her a helmet like unto the head of a cow. Typhon formerly accused Horus of being an illegitimate child, but with the help of Hermes, to plead his cause, it was decided by the gods that he was also legitimate. Typhon was then overcome in 2 other battles. Osiris consorted with Isis after his death, and she became the mother of Horus, untimely born and weak in his lower limbs. So Hermes is Thoth, is Mercury, which is happening right here. So we were seeing the great accusation, right? Horus is the divine child. Horus is the fusion of the sun and the moon. And you can see the sun and moon are coming into each other. And we see Isis right here. We are associating with Luna as she comes down. She actually ends up releasing Typhon, which is Mars, right? So we're going to see the moon come here, and Mars is going to be released. Isis doesn't kill Mars, right? Doesn't kill Typhon. She lets him go, forgives him, that kind of thing. And this angers Horus. Horus is the one that is the fusion of the sun and the moon. So he is both solar, he is both lunar, right? And so as Horus comes down, that we're going to represent with the solar sign right there, and he gets caught into this conjunction, he ends up getting accused by Mars, accused of being an illegitimate child, right? And this is happening in the court of the gods. Now Mercury is speaking with honesty, speaking with truth, makes the case as the lawyer for Horus, convinces the gods that he is legitimate. So this cosmic drama is what is happening right here. This is very rare. This doesn't happen every single year. I think the stars are screaming at us right now that we need to pay attention to what happens in this story, especially when Osiris is entombed in the casket, when Typhon kills Osiris, and then when Horus is accused. And how does Horus get out of it? How does the integrated Horus get out of it, right? And it's through the powers of Mercury. It's through this honesty. So as we approach the rest of the week, we need to be very wary of how we are speaking, right? So our words become martial during this, the rest of this week. So I'm going to relay a little bit in conversations in the House of Life, which is known as the Book of Thoth, is very ancient Hermetica that has only been recently translated. But there is between 201 and 216, lines 201 and 216 in Conversations in the House of Life. The hieroglyphics are hard to translate. They're scattered. But what we see in 201 and 216, which is in relationship to this court case that Hermes goes through, we see broken translations of your tongue, mouth, weapons of fighting, raising a fight, evening to morning, riding, spirits, the dead ones, and your scribal palate, right? So this is once again talking about how our words are going to be functioning as these kind of weapons during the rest of the week. And this is happening for everybody. So we will be meeting false accusers. We will be meeting somebody that is trying to deceive us, right? And the only way to get out is to be like Horus. That evening tonight that it's talking about in there is going to be the entombment of Osiris, and then as Osiris is resurrected after the sun gets out of Scorpio, that's how we're moving forward. So this is our astrological forecast for this week. Like I said, Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be especially powerful nights. It's the moon, Mercury, and Mars are all coming together in Scorpio. The sun will be entering Scorpio those nights too. So maybe we want to do some spells that are focusing on our honesty, our integrity, or maybe we are trying to be the person that is dominating the business deal or the business contract. But watch out for accepting any offers from somebody that is trying to deceive you during the course of this next week. With that being said, going to move this over here. And we are going to open this up for our psychic hour. Any viewers online, if you have any questions, we're going to be getting some readings from Dr. Anna Stone. She's going to be taking over, and she's going to be guiding. She is an expert. She's really good. So go ahead and submit any questions that you have. Maybe it's related to your personal life. Maybe it's related to what you want to do this week magically.
No medical, legal, or I don't want to hear any questions about if this person's going to leave their husband or wife. I don't know. But other than that, whatever you like. But yeah, let's see. I can do a collective reading too. So.
Yeah. So we'll start out with a collective reading
and
Dr. Anna Stone for the rest of the week.
Okay. Out of my way. So. Let me know if you see anything in the chat, because I can't read it. Okay, for this week. No, I don't want that.
Okay, all right.
Makes it harder to shuffle. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so I. Interesting.
So we have a question from the audience.
Okay.
They want to know if they can develop a telepathic connection with their autistic nonverbal son.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
interesting. I'm working on that project right now with the Institute of Noetic Sciences for the telepathy tapes. So, I mean, I don't even need to read for that. The answer is yes, but you have to be able to come up with a way to understand what they are saying. So, is it there? Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. My mic might have dropped. Okay. So yeah, I will read that next. I will, but I'm just going to say from my knowledge, based on the assistance I've been providing with that study that's going on right now, you need to have a way for them to be able to to be able to tell you that they know. So they're like some kind of computer or tablet or something that can provide a voice for them, if that makes sense, So I think a lot of the parents in the study are using tablets and then using an app that can translate into speaking words. So can you see anything else on there?
Yes. Merlin would like to know if he should leave the country.
Oh.
I got it. Don't worry.
Okay. That one. Okay. So let me just say, like, for the collective right now, it's looking like there's definitely something that. Okay. And let me finish this. I'm sorry. I get ahead of myself sometimes. Oh. Well, this is crazy. What card is that? All right. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. All right. So for some of you, obviously this is not going to be for everybody, because no reading ever is, especially when you're doing a collective reading. So if it doesn't resonate, just ignore it. But so what I'm seeing right now is there's the first two cards are the 7 of coins crossed by the devil. So, and this is the Tarot of the Trance deck, in case anybody is wondering. It's old. I don't know. I think it's out of print. But this is telling me, this means that, you know, something that you've been working towards, working hard, putting effort into, spending time and resources on, is threatened by, it could even be yourself. This is the devil here. The devil represents our own vices, problems that we might have, maybe, you know, drinking, drugs, alcohol, you know, ego even, like, could be a big one here. So be mindful of that, because that's the current energy here. And then the Seven of Cups, the Hermit, the Four of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. It's a lot of cups. It's telling me that all of this is saying, this is all of the past anyways, but it's like juggling. You have too much going on in the past, trying to pare it down, spend some time focused on what you want to do next. And now maybe it might even be a situation where you thought you wanted it, and now you're not so sure because it seems kind of blah, boring. That's normal. The Queen of Cups is telling me that stick at it, but watch your own watch your own tendencies to self-sabotage. Like self-sabotage. Is that an energy of this week for self-sabotaging too?
Yes.
You could thieve from yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then the Five of Pentacles here. So it might be a money situation too, where you're not having enough money right now, and you're feeling like, I've spent too much time and effort, this isn't paying off right now, right? It's not paying off enough. And then we have Judgment reversed. So, you know, that's you judging, you're being too judgmental on yourself. Like, you're expecting something too fast. Like, it's, you know, hard work takes time, you know, payoff takes time. It does. I know this very well. The energies that are working towards you or against you is the Queen of Swords. So what does that symbolize? That symbolizes the need to be honest. Again, this is what that is. It's about being honest. So you need to be either honest with yourself or look at the situation honestly from a unbiased attempt to be an unbiased perspective. And then the outcome here is that it looks like there's some maybe emotional instability going on. So it might kind of send you into a spiral if you're not careful. So you need to be really unbiased in your thought process on this, whatever it is that you're doing, because right now it's like I feel like it's rushed. I feel like something's rushed here. Like there's somebody, at least somebody here that, or somebody that's going to see this, that has an idea of what they wanted to do. And they thought it was going to happen faster and sooner, and that they were going to be getting the benefit of it faster than they are. And that was an unrealistic goal. That was an unrealistic idea. So you need to refocus and shift back and, you know, understand that that's not how this is playing out for you. And that doesn't mean to give up on it. It just means that you need to reassess the situation and then go act accordingly after that. Does that make sense? So be mindful of your own sabotaging thought processes, because that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a lot of either kind of delusional, like not necessarily delusional like in a clinical sense, but, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna start doing this thing and it's gonna start making me money right away. But that's not realistic. It takes time. So don't get too discouraged. Don't let your emotions get the best of you, and just remember to be honest about the situation. Like, seriously important about not having delusions of grandeur here about how fast you're going to get something done. Okay, super important. Now, who was it that asked for the question about their child? Okay.
So Sasha would like to know if she can develop a telepathic connection with her autistic nonverbal son.
Yeah, so literally, like, I believe that's, so right away I got the star and the chariot. So yeah, your intention right now, setting that intention, speaking that out loud, I don't know if you've done that before or not, but like the fact that you're asking this question is part of that process of getting it to happen. You're gonna have to figure out a way. How old is your child? Like, can you, I mean, if that's cool, you can let me know. Because this is something that is very common, and I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, according to the studies that I've been working on, it's about a 99% accuracy rate with these children, which is insane. It's crazy. So, and I don't know. 14, okay, thank you for that. Perfect age. Are they computer literate? Are they able to use devices? Oh, look at what does that say?
This is Eric Y. He has created astrological talismans, but he's never been allowed to sell them or even give them away. He had a dream at one point that revealed that he can't. He's fine with it, but would like some understanding on the situation. It's okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I got the answer to that. Okay.
I can actually answer this one.
Yeah.
Sasha says he's using a tablet. So Eric Y, the answer to this is initiation, right? So I personally am not allowed to sell talismans that are solar because I still have not done my solar initiation. Once you initiate into a sphere or a planet, whatever energy that you're working with the talisman, that is going, once you're initiated into that current, then they allow you to sell the talismans. The talismans that you sell, though, or give away, they're going to be weaker than the ones that you make specifically for yourself. But once you have initiated into the energy or the sphere or the hierarchy of wherever that talisman belongs, you will be able to make them for other people. The spirits will give you the ability to sell them, to give them away, and the planets will too. So
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say that I got. But so hopefully that answers your question there, Eric. Sasha, back to Sasha really quick. So yes, you can do this, but I'm going to tell you right now that you're going to probably have to try a few different modalities of doing this in order to make it work. And most of the parents that are in the study now happened upon it randomly. So I'm not sure how the process works for somebody trying to do it. Like, these were people that had already established, like, it happened naturally somehow. So what I can do is I can provide in the comments, like after this post, I can give you the names of the apps that some of the parents are using, so that you can see if that will work for you guys, okay? Because I know that there's some apps available that allow for the, people that have, that are nonverbal to be able to communicate. And I'm not currently, like, I don't have it right in my head because it's in my research. So I'd have to check it if that's okay. I'll gladly post it. If you leave a comment on the live, like in the comment sections underneath, if you leave that, I will respond to it with some of the suggestions for apps to use, okay? I do think some of them cost money, though, just FYI. So, I don't know that they're free, but hopefully that will help. And then also, you need to be, so like talking to I'm sure you already do this, but talking to them like normal, like not, the parents that are in the study all talk to their children like they can totally comprehend what they're saying and that they understand. Because it turns out that the parents that weren't doing that, when they got to talk to their kid, the kid was irritated by that, just FYI. So, it's like, I can understand you. Just because I can't speak doesn't mean that I'm, and I'm sure that you already know that, but just in case. So hopefully that helps. I'm happy to provide that as soon as I get access to it again, which I don't have right now. It's at work. So, but do you have any other questions?
we've got Merlin wants to know if he should move countries.
All right.
This is going to be a fun one. I want to know too,
Yeah.
Merlin.
Where are you running from?
Yeah, exactly. The feds. He's a wanted man.
Or just this country is like, how it is these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going back a little bit about Sasha, isn't there like a podcast about they discovered telepathy?
That's the one I'm working on.
Yeah.
Telepathy tapes. Yeah, you know that, right? Like, Sasha, you've watched that, I'm sure. You've been checking that out. So, what is it?
Thank you, Sasha. Yeah, there is a podcast where they're exploring it. I don't know if that's where you've got the idea, but there's research, which is what Dr. Anna Stone's talking about, with the telepathic communications between autistic children and their parents.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find it if you Google it, if you haven't already heard of it.
Yes,
Okay.
So that's what it is, and it's so the lab that I, assist with, which is Dean Radin's lab. They're doing that right now. We're making a documentary about it, so we're compiling all the evidence and the research. It's pretty fascinating. So let's see. What does it say?
So Merlin is trying to get away from paying taxes and his authoritarian government. I feel you, dude. I feel you
I feel
100%.
that. Can
Yeah.
I just say,
Yeah.
oh, I can't say it.
It's
but
robbery.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
is maddening. Like, yes. Like, okay, so got you. But sorry to break it to you, darling. You will have to pay taxes even if you move out of the country. So you still have to pay American tax if you move to a different country, unless you revoke your citizenship to the United States.
Yeah.
And that's a legal process.
Well, we don't know what country he's in, but
Yeah. Or if it's the United States, if you're trying to leave here in the U.S., yeah. Spoiler alert! I just found out recently. I did not know this, but yeah, you still have to pay taxes even if you move somewhere else.
Yeah, I know.
So fun times. But let's see.
That's why you got get one of those Caribbean.
Shells.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
There's
care
that
about
like
those.
one island in the Caribbean where they don't have like any taxes or something. Just run away there, or John McAfee go down to like Guatemala or something.
What?
Live on a
Mic?
boat.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it really low? I
Doc's mic.
apologize.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll turn it up. Thank you, Chewy.
I just am really loud normally, so he always has to turn it down. I have the professor voice, to be able to lecture to large auditoriums. So let's see. So yeah, but you're not going to get out of paying taxes. I'm sorry, But you can reduce your tax liability. That's it. But no, it says, nah. It's not saying yes. Leaving the country is just going to make you have to pay double like tax. So, and that's so unfair. I can't believe that's really a thing. I really can't. But it is. Okay, we got another one. Is that the same one? Oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
See. So, sorry, my eyesight's terrible. I can't read this chat from here. Okay, so he said it was a no. He's not going to get out of. I mean,
Yeah.
you can leave the country. That's fine.
Okay.
You might enjoy it a lot better, and you'll make, your finances will be in a better position. Yes, but the getting out of taxes, no.
Okay, so Merlin said he's non-American, thinking of moving to New Hampshire. He's trying to escape his government, his country.
That's
or
why
whatever.
those cards look like that. Okay. Okay. So I was assuming that. So my cards were kind of bad. So, well, geez. All right. So you're trying to escape your country. What does it say again? Can you read? Not American, thinking of
Moving to New Hampshire. Mm-hmm.
Hang on. I'm not sure. Have you been here before? Have you come here to visit? I mean, I'm assuming if you pick New Hampshire, there's a reason why it's New Hampshire. But let's see, I got weird cards for him. That makes sense now. I was like, what is going on here? Let's see. What is happening? I'm hearing this is not. Actually, yeah.
New Hampshire is the move.
Yep. I mean, because right now it is like you've worked hard for it looks like you've put in a lot of effort, work. You got 8 of pentacles here. So that's, like putting in work, time and effort into something. And then there is something that looks like you enjoy. But then now this is like this is like a lot of stress here. Looks like there's a lot of stress. And then also like a lot of rules or something that's like put on you. I don't really know how to word that right. I don't have like something that's like on top of you, like it's King of Swords, right? Mm-hmm. So and then the next card though, the outcome is if you were to move to New Hampshire is the King of Pentacles.
Yeah.
So that's money, right?
Money,
so, yeah.
baby. Yeah.
So that would be, yes. So, yeah. Oh, you've been to the West Coast? Oh, yeah. We're crazy here.
Yeah,
but,
West Coast.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Best Coast, man.
Yeah.
We got the best rap music. I'm sorry.
Oh, my
That's how it
gosh.
goes.
So, yeah, I guess so. New Hampshire's really cold. Just FYI,
Yeah.
I guess. I've never been there, but I hear it's freezing. So, yeah, but it looks like you'll be able to retain more of your money, and that's crazy. because I think we have really high taxes here, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong.
Blue states specifically.
Yeah. So looks like it, Maryland. So pack your bags, I guess, with a lot of sweaters. Okay, anybody else?
Okay, let's see. I don't think we have any more questions.
Cool.
Does anybody else have any questions for Dr. Anna Stone?
Yeah, if you have questions, let me know. But this is.
I think we're going to close out with a little bit of a guided meditation. It's going to be a light Kabbalah meditation. So.
Oh wait, I just got another message for collective though.
Oh
Quick.
yeah, give the message. Come on,
So
Dr. Stone.
there's a couple of people that it's not for everybody again, but there's a couple people here that are right now experiencing what we might deem to be an awakening, a spiritual awakening, and you might be fighting it. Your Eight of Swords here, you're making your own prison about it. You're limiting yourself. So if you've been having some weird occurrences lately or feeling like you're going crazy with things showing up for you, or like synchronicities, or just I don't know, those symptoms of awakening, right? Just know that it's normal, and this is where you're supposed to be right now, and and you're gonna be gaining a wealth of knowledge here coming up. So try to ease up on yourself about how you're judging yourself during this process. You know what I mean? Like, when we go through it, how we're like, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. This can't be real, kind of thing. Be careful to not just dismiss things, because and it's not like the destroying tower that you think. It is actually going to be, in the end, very good for you. So things might look crazy right now. I don't know who this is for, but it looks like things look like they're falling apart. It's part of the process, and you need to trust it.
Yeah, so this is actually relates specifically. Alan Weaver says he drew an Eight of Swords earlier today, and he's in a season of initiation. Hi, Alan. Nice to see you here. I know Alan from a chat room.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is actually specifically what this Scorpio season, soul entering into Scorpio, is talking about. The entombment of Osiris is basically the depth of the initiation, right? So Osiris is the god of the deity of initiation. Osiris is who we assume when we go through the putrefaction, when we go through the alchemical process, right? It is Osiris that gets dismembered. He is first encased in the tomb, and then he is dismembered and scattered, right? So as Osiris is entombed right now in Scorpio season, this is a prime time for the depths of initiation. This is when it becomes hard. This is when it becomes difficult, right? But we will move into Saturn season, into the winter, and this is where we get the kind of like cold, still release of the depths of the initiation, the actual death, right? The silence before we come out into the spring and it wakes up. So as Dr. Stone was saying earlier, when we are in these depths of the initiation, when we are dismembered, when we are entombed, that kind of thing, it is important that we accept and we let it happen, right? When we fight it, that's our Eight of Swords. And when we fight initiations, this is when it's no longer an initiation. It's just
It's just bad time.
It's just a bad time.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
and regarding that question right there about regarding the question about the collective awakening, some more cards on that. I just did. So it's the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, but I have a different deck here. Okay, so my deck for the Three of Swords, for this, there's two versions of it. This is the Tarot of the Abyss, I believe. And this one is a good card. It's actually saying, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a man reading a book and like knowledge being, coming to him. And then we have the Six of Cups, which is reminiscing on, past times, the Lovers, and then the card Awakening, literally. So what that's telling me is that it's happening. It's a slow moving process though. And it's taking, people have to educate themselves, right? And take in that knowledge. And we have a lot of things here that are going to be kind of in conflict with that. The way society is designed is to conflict with that, right? So that we don't have the time to do those things. So you know, it's not going to happen overnight. I don't know that we're going to see it click, you know. I wish, I hope so. I was, you know, but I said the same thing about Prop 215. I said, we'll never see that. We'll never see it being legalized. And now I can just, you know, now it's totally legal. So I could be very wrong with that. I think I'm setting myself up to not be disappointed in that opinion. But yeah, it is still happening. But the thing is that it's not your job to help other people come to that determination unless they come and ask you for it, right? That is one of the things that I think it's really important to stress is that I know when I first started having mine, I wanted to share it with a lot of people, and I would start telling people about the things I was going through, and they would look at me like I was crazy, or it was really upsetting to them because it was contradicting what they knew. And so then I believe one of my professors in my consciousness program told me, it's not your job to do that. It can actually traumatize people to share with them some of the things.
It can disrupt people's path. I mean, if we think about one of the more annoying practices that we are exposed to in Western society is Christian proselytization, right? And to these people, when they go and they try to convert you or they try to tell you that what you're doing is wrong, they think it to themselves because they are thinking about their perspective. They're not thinking about your perspective. They think to themselves that they are doing you a favor and they are helping you. But what that does is it instills a kind of like resentment and bitterness towards a religion that actually has a lot of wisdom and truth. And when it's put into actual practice, it really does help people, right? But the more that one proselytizes and tries to force the perspective on another person, you are creating a bitterness and a resentment. And we do have an outlash, you know, like the rise of the secular world and atheism was largely in a response to that. Okay, so this practice of trying to force their perspective, their spirituality, and their religion on other people when they either weren't ready for it or weren't asking for it has actually disrupted a lot of people's spiritual progress. It's led a lot of people to completely throw all religion, all belief in spirituality, all belief in something else out.
Yeah.
And so one of the most important things that we can do as esotericists, occultists, magical practitioners, we hold ourselves to a higher standard than the mundane religious, right? We are not just people that go to church. We put our beliefs into practice and we live this as a lifestyle. And so the best thing that we can do is to lead by example, to become the best version of our spiritual beliefs so that people can see the change, people can see the glow in you, and those who should seek help will seek help from you, right? The only thing you have to do is wait for it to happen. And it's very difficult because when we go through awakenings and when we go through initiations, we want to share because we experience a liberation and we see so much sickness around us, right? But we can't force our gnosis onto people. We can't give people something that they don't want because it can actually disrupt their path. It can put a bad taste in their mouth, you know, and then maybe somebody that you could have been helping a year or two down the line when they were ready is now turned off of the process, and you may have delayed their growth for years or maybe an entire lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that is true, and it's frustrating.
It is very frustrating. It's one of the most. There's a lot of people I experience in my life that I just want to grab and be like, let me help you. But we have to be patient, and the best thing that we can do is help ourselves, so that when somebody is ready for help, and they think like, who can help me? They think of you,
right?
You know, they think of you. They're like, that is a person that is happy, that is at peace, that is liberated. I want what they have.
Yeah,
right?
And then let me just say this too: don't take advice from somebody that's not in a position that you desire to be in.
Yeah.
Right. That is, I see this all the time where I hear people go, well, I heard from so-and-so, and I'm like, so-and-so lives in their parents' basement. Like, why would you want to, is that what you're looking for? I don't understand this. So if you do take advice, or if you do, you know, listen to other people, make sure that they know what they're talking about and that they're in a position that is something that you also admire. You know, I think that's really important. So do your due diligence on background checking people.
Yeah,
you know, seriously. But yeah, if someone comes to you and asks you for spiritual insight, that's one thing. But if they don't, then it's not for you.
It's hard because we do want to help people, and we do, you know, when we receive the gifts of our awakenings and our initiations, we want to share those things, but that's kind of like the loneliness and the pain of mysticism, of occultism, of advanced spiritual practice. You know, you see a lot of the monastics and the institutional religions, they're very frustrated by this. You know, that's why they live isolated, because they're like, I want to save the world and I can't, so I have to live here. And this is actually, if we're going to go back into the Bible, into Christianity, they actually have a verse in it. It's, do not cast your pearls before swine, do not give holy wisdom to dogs. And Christ is not necessarily telling people in that passage that everybody's pigs and dogs. We have to think about what the pig is a symbol of. The pig is a symbol of lust, of wantonness, right? So he's saying, don't give your holy wisdom to somebody that's trapped in lust and in wantonness, right? Somebody that is purely material. And do not give holy wisdom to dogs. And what are dogs in this context? Dogs are a symbol of this ignorance, right? Dogs are in the Buddhist practice, their karma is ignorance. Okay, so what he's basically telling you is that people are going to lash out at you if you share with them while they are still trapped in lust, when they are still trapped in wantonness. They're going to lash out at you when you give them actual wisdom, because they're ignorant. They're going to lash out at you like a rabid dog.
Oh yeah, that just happened to me.
This is a part of their faith that seems to be missed, but it's a very. I remember when I first, my mentor that taught me how to be a magician, he used to say that to me all the time, and it rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like that, because I thought it was calling people pigs and dogs. But it, you know, once I really integrated what the symbolism of it was, it taught me to be a little more careful about who I shared my gnosis and my wisdom with, right? Because it could hurt them and it could hurt me.
And even people that do come, you have to use discernment. It's so important, because I just had this happen to me where people lash out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because the thing that we did was effective. It worked, even though I had given forewarning, like, you know, hey, if you want to be involved in this, great, but here's what's probably going to happen to you. And then it did happen right away, and now they are freaked out. And
yes.
I'm gonna admit, I knew better. I had my suspicions about them not being ready, you know, but I was assured that they were by other people, and I should have listened to my own inner knowledge, because at the end of the day now, they are, you know, thinking, they have this idea now that, you know, about me, that because things happened exactly how I said they'd happen, and so now they're scared of me. And I'm like, okay, you know, like, really? And I mean, I don't care that much, but, you know, it does, I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I feel bad for them, because I'm like, oh, that's not what the goal was. That's why I tried to give you the disclaimers ahead of time. But, so you got to be careful, even when someone does ask for help and asks you for guidance, make sure that you listen to that gut feeling you have about it, because I didn't. And so learn from my mistakes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to make them. But
these are mistakes I used to make all the time. I definitely, a little bit antisocial. Learned that I was antisocial to be trying to force people to see, to awaken, you know, when I felt they needed to awaken. Right. Which I don't have control over that.
But it can be kind of confusing, because I was thinking that my inner voice was telling me that they are not ready, and I was putting my own judgment on them, and that's what I thought I was doing. I thought I was judging them as too novice, of a noob, so to speak, right?
Yeah. And
so I didn't want to be projecting my own ideas about people onto them, so I went ahead and did it anyway, and now it turns out I was right.
Yeah.
And so I should have just listened. Yeah.
The high priestess in the tarot is veiled, her wisdom is cloaked. Yes. Awesome. That's true. Perfect.
Yep.
And reading back on the chat, so Merlin had some gnosis in April, but can still explain his experience through psychology. He began learning magic to test reality. We talk all the time about how psychology is an occult discipline. It was birthed out of our discipline. It was birthed out of esotericism, the rejected knowledge, right? In the subconscious mind, the concept of it was birthed out of our practice. However, the difference between psychology and magic and esotericism is psychology ends at the self, whereas the magician and magic is the psychology. We believe in an external part of it too, right? There are definitely forms of magic that, like chaos magic, where it is entirely within this kind of self, right?
Right.
But when we are hermeticists or we practice a more ancient magic, more classical magic, that psychology extends into the world around us, right? We believe we're using those kind of same principles.
Yeah, and let me say, I started when I first met Abammon. I mean, I was, just entering into my PhD. Was I just entering it, or was I already in it? I can't remember. But I was working on towards my PhD in psychology, and I already had a master's in it, or was finishing up a master's. I was concurrently doing both things, and I was firmly believing that it was just psychology, that it was just fragments of the self that we were accessing, that it was, all of that. Like, I thought all of this was explained by psychology, 100%. And I felt like that for years. But then some stuff happened that made me have to reevaluate that. And I think that psychology is a good framework to look at it right now for you. That's perfect. But at some point, just be, forewarned that at some point something will happen that will make you have to reevaluate that stance.
Yeah, I think it would benefit everybody if magicians knew psychology beyond pop psychology, and if psychologists knew esoteric.
So that field is called.
I think it would help. I think it would help both camps of people.
That field is called depth psychology or transpersonal psychology, and that is where both are mixed together. And so I did not know, I had never heard of those things before, starting my program. And then when I found out about them, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because regular Western psychology tries to put people in little boxes and, gives them, disorders.
That's where it loses the plot for me.
It does. And by the way, aside from schizophrenia, all the disorders are just made up. Like, literally, people just decided to name them things. And that's what happened. They're pretty much a continuum of the human experience, regardless, depending on what people are experiencing, but we've decided to label some of the things as, disorderly, or disorders, right? That they impact lives, and they do. I mean, I used to have anxiety that was debilitating, and I definitely at that point identified as somebody with generalized anxiety disorder. I don't have that anymore at all. So it went away. So it wasn't like a lifelong thing, but the original iteration of psychology was the science of the soul. That's what it was.
Yes,
and then in the 1800s, we took it over, to do horrible things to people that were less desirable members of society, the people that had epilepsy, schizophrenia, like things that were bothersome to others. And it was just to get them out of out of your hair. And it's kind of continued that way. So that is not my vibe at all. I didn't want any part of that. I wanted to be part of something where we take the whole person and look at their cultural background, their religious experiences, things like that. And that's what I found in depth psychology or transpersonal psychology. They're kind of the same thing, So that's a great one to look into. It does take into account the spiritual version of, the spiritual aspects of the person.
So Merlin wants to know if he can get any safe spells that allow him to see something that psychology can't explain.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so this isn't necessarily safe, but
it's not safe.
I think to people that doubt, man.
Don't no. Yeah, wait. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. I always say, if you don't believe in magic, go summon a demon and you'll believe in it immediately. But don't do that. Don't
do it. Don't say no.
I think the reason that branch of magic is so popular is because it's so easy to do and it works.
I guess.
For somebody that's never done it, but that's how it ropes you in too, because it's like that's how people get started on that path. It's like, oh, this works, and then I'm just gonna keep doing this. I think safe spells. It depends on what you're doing. Are you gonna do a spell for us today?
I mean, I have one, and it's but it's not to really see
to see anything.
It was just for protect, like to going forward
Angels.
For this week.
Yes. So angels. I got a book back here for you.
Angels are scary.
So
they're not nice.
Yeah. So dependent on how your alignment is, if you are not living the way that you're supposed to live, and I'm not saying that I know what way that is, but I am saying that, we all have a purpose and a path. If you are off path, the angels are going to be very forceful and course correct you, pretty harshly. So they're not like all fluffy and nice as
No, and
people.
they're scary looking.
Yeah. They'll run train on your life if you're living your life in a way that you're not supposed to be living, right? However, it is ultimately the best thing for you. So I have this book right here. It's called the Book of the Angel Rezael, right? And if you want to go through the procedures in here, these are going to be a lot in line with what demon summoners do. It's going to be the same kind of operations. If you go through the operations in here, you pick one that you want to do, you will definitely have an experience with it. When we approach angels, we want to make sure that our will is in line with, angels are part of the Abrahamic hierarchy. So our will is in line with, God. It could be a monotheistic, pantheistic, panentheistic, whatever it is. Just make sure your will is in line with it before you go summoning an angel. Don't approach from a place of hidden, like you have like a hidden motivation, a hidden will, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then also when we do magic, so I like to do a lot of magic in order to kind of test if an operation works or experiment with an operation. But it's a little bit of bad form to be doing magic just for the sake of doing magic, because magic can be addictive. When you feel it, when it works, you definitely get a kind of like drug high off of it. Yeah. And then you're very much tempted to just keep doing it, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to do this again tomorrow night. I'm going to do it again tomorrow night. Or, I'm notorious for doing it like 3-4 nights in a row and then burning myself out. Like then I spend like a few weeks recovering because I just burnt myself out. So that's also something to be careful about. But I'm going to recommend the Book of the Angel Rezael, or Sefer Rezael Hamalach. That'll be have a lot of operations that you can do that approaches from kind of a beginner's place. I mean, it's old writing, but you can work specifically within this, find an operation that you want to do and then perform it, and you will probably come into like it's going to work. You're going to come into the belief of these things.
Well, I say like what I would suggest is not even a ritual, because that's, well, I guess we were doing ritual, but for me, the thing that really changed my mind about things being within myself or external was when I started getting information about stuff I had no previous connection to. So I would say maybe, try to put yourself in a trance-like state if you can, and then ask for information to come to you about a subject in the occult that you know nothing about at all, and whatever pops into your head, however ridiculous it sounds, write it down and then go research it and see if you can find it, because that's what happened with me. Is I was telling Abammon stuff that I was getting during, being in a trance, and it sounded like absolute gibberish to me, like literally gibberish. Like I was like, and I would come out of it and think that I just made a total fool of myself, was saying all this nonsense, and then he would be like, oh my gosh, you were just talking about this, and this, because he knows like everything, and I don't. So I don't know all of this stuff that he knows, because I just practical magic my whole life, not ritual.
So magic. I think I'll give you a safe spell to do, generally safe spell. Okay. So I don't know if anybody who watches the podcast, I like to talk a lot about money when we're talking about magic, because it has a quantitative value. You can tell that it worked because you got a sum of money. It's got a number attached to it, right? So I'll give you a money spell, and then you can see for yourself if it works, right? So you're going to, on Thursday night during the hour of Jupiter, you're going to, what do I use for Jupiter? I use the frankincense. You're going to use frankincense, incense, right? You're going to get a piece of tin somewhere on an altar, okay? 2 candles like this, and you're going to take with a pen, you're going to draw an image of, give me 1 second. You are going to draw an image of a long-haired man writing a dragon. You're going to write something like this, number 4. I don't think you can see it on camera. Right there. And in the man's right hand, he's going to be holding a sphere. You're going to draw that on the image. You're going to write on the back of this image your petition that you would like money, right? Now, after you do that, you're going to call out to Jupiter. I'm going to invoke him. Jupiter, I conjure thee. I humbly approach your sphere. I ask for entrance. I seek wealth. I seek money. Grant me access into your sphere. Then, once you do that, you're going to visualize a circle around you, right? Magic circle. Now, I want you to write this down because I'm not going to say the name out loud. You're going to have to figure out how to pronounce the name. Once the circle is visualized with light, you feel it, push it out. Write this down. D M H Z. That is the name of something. It's not a demon, don't worry. It is the name of something. It's an ambivalent spirit. And ask that spirit for money, right? The money that's on the back of the petition. You're going to offer that spirit rum. And so when you call upon that spirit, ask it for the money, offer it the rum. Maybe sit in meditation, see if you can hear it, if you can visualize it. Maybe if you have a crystal ball, see if you can see the spirit inside there. After that, you're going to dismiss the spirit, grant it a license to depart, thank it for knowledge and conversation, for communion with it, and then you can step outside of your circle and you're going to clean and purify the space, right? So you use incense, white sage, Palo Santo, cast out anything that may have come along, okay? So do this Thursday night during Jupiter's hour, and then see what comes to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so I just am preparing this. This is for the week ahead. So as we were told by Abammon, the week ahead, you can expect to encounter somebody that might steal from you, wants to deceive you in some way, shape, or form. Not the best time to be signing contracts, etc. So I have this one that I just modified earlier Abammon was doing his sermon. Mm-hmm. And it's a take on an old one, so it might sound familiar, but I've just changed it up a little bit. But so I have a gold candle here that I carved with what I'm asking for, and for this it is, may those that have ill will towards us or are meant to deceive us be revealed to us, right? So it's an illumination towards those that don't have our best interests at heart, basically, right? And so and I'll do this now, and then I have some commanding or compelling incense here because we want this to happen, right? And I'm gonna just light the candle, and then say some words. And if you want to participate in this, fine, just acknowledge that to yourself. If you don't, just don't acknowledge it to yourself, and it won't impact you, That makes sense, right? I give everybody a choice. And then, so, that is so loud. This flame bothers me. So, it is, may those who know us, and those who seek to deceive us, besmirch us, and steal from us, have their hearts turned, but if not, then turn the light on them and on their deeds, and turn their ankles inward, so we may know them by their limping. So it is.
What would it be?
So that will help to identify through some way, shape, or form the people that are the instigators in your life, right? And, you know, the downside of that is it could be someone that you never suspected, or
Yes.
somebody that you hold very dear to yourself in your heart, and someone close to you. It could be somebody that you all suspected all along. Either way, you'll find out. So, and you can repeat that yourself if you like to bolster it a bit. So,
Okay, so we're going to start closing out the service. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to
Yep.
close it out with a little bit of a guided meditation. So the guided meditation, you're going to give me permission to walk you through the guided meditation. If you don't want to give me permission, that's fine. But if you give me permission within your mind, this is going to be benefit to you. We're going to thank Soul for guiding our service today, and go under. You can watch Dr. Anna Stone. This won't affect you unless you let it in, right? But we're going to be doing a Kabbalistic permutation between the letters of Mem and Shin, okay? Once we go into our guided meditation. So, where you're at home, I want you to look towards the top of the ceiling. And you're going to go about 6 inches down from the corner where the ceiling meets the wall. So your eyes are up, just a little bit of pressure at the top of your forehead. And you're going to start breathing in slowly through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, you're going to notice on the top of your head a slight tingling sensation. As the muscles on the top of your head, they begin to get warm and they begin to relax. And this relaxing feeling is slowly spreading and is moving down your head, gently down, 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 down. And as that relaxing feeling is moving down your head, your eyes are getting heavier, so heavy you may start blinking. But it's okay, you can keep them open, just let them get heavy, and it's moving downward, that relaxing feeling. And as this relaxing feeling is moving down your head towards your ears, and you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, your eyelids are so heavy. So heavy. And you notice that your body is starting to get heavy as well. Your hands feel heavier. Your feet feel heavier. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as this relaxing, warm sensation moves through your muscles, it's going to move down to your neck, to your shoulders. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Your eyelids, they're so heavy. You can let them close when you are ready. And as they close, you start to drift deeper and deeper within yourself. As your body slowly relaxes, and that relaxed, warm sensation moves down from your shoulders, through your arms, down through your chest. Your body feels warm, it feels heavy. As you start to drift deeper and deeper within yourself. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as this sensation, it moves downwards and downwards through your legs, down to the bottom of your feet. Your body feels so heavy, and it starts to melt away. And as it melts away, you're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm going to count down from 5, and as I count down from 5 and hit 0, you're going to enter a deep, deep sleep. 5. You're relaxed. You're breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. 4. Your body feels heavy as you fall inward. 3. So heavy, so relaxed, so comfortable, so calm. 2, inward and deeper, in through your nose, out through your mouth. 1, you're entering the precipice. And 0, deep sleep. Deep, deep sleep. And you're going downward and downward, deeper into yourself, so deep, so deep. You find yourself at the top of a staircase. There are 20 steps. And with every step, we're going to descend down the staircase. Descend deeper and deeper. Starting at step 20. With every step, we go deeper into ourself, deeper into sleep. Step 20. 19, we go deeper. 18, we go deeper. 17, deeper. 16, deeper. 15, calm, relaxed, safe, secure, in control. 15, 14, 13, 12. So deep, my voice may sound distant, may sound echoey, but you're going deeper and deeper to 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, deeper, deeper, 5, 4, third step, 2, 1, deep sleep, deep, deep sleep. And here we find ourselves in ourselves, in a place that is so familiar, it is so natural. We're going to pull out the memories of the invocation, the conjuring of soul, the great illuminator, the great combustion, soul of ourselves, the light of the world, the light that exposes shadows, the light that cleans, it purifies, it washes, and it sets us up for our week ahead as we confront our daily struggles, as we confront our magical journey, as we confront shadows, as we confront angels, as we confront deities, and most importantly, as we confront ourselves with our magic. And I want you to find a comfortable place deep within yourself, so deep. This comfortable place, basking in the warmth of soul. O soul, great illuminator, great combustor, we thank you for guiding this service. We thank you for being with us. We ask that you cast light onto all shadows that approach us through the rest of our week, that you combust all ill will that comes towards us. We ask that you stay with us, that you guide us, that you help us to be examples of your powers here on earth, that you lift our spirits, our souls up to you, so we may become more like you, so we may become gold. O soul, we thank you for your blinding light, your bright light, your cleansing light. Stay with us. You feel relaxed, you feel calm, you feel rejuvenated. I want you to let Soul bring his insights, bring his wisdom into you. He inspires you for the rest of the week and carries you through the entombment of Osiris. Feeling refreshed, relaxed, accessing your subconscious, your insights, the divine will, and your will. We're going to start returning to the surface. 5. Coming up lighter and lighter. 4. Feeling relaxed, calm, comfortable, and safe. 3. Rejuvenated. 2. You're aware of the room around you. And 1. You open your eyes. Welcome back. So thank you guys for joining us. We hope to see you next week with another astrological forecast. We enjoyed chatting with you guys.
Absolutely.
So it was great to talk to you.
If you saw anything during that meditation, make sure you write it down.
Yeah, make sure
symbol, image.
write it down in your grimoire, and it'd be cool if you let me know. I'm interested in what you saw. But we're gonna be moving forward. Gonna be ironing out this Sunday service live stream that we've been looking forward to. So thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, thanks guys. Well, it'll probably vary, depending on like how we're working it out. But
Yeah.
we're trying to figure it out as we go. So we appreciate you guys so much. Yeah.
All right.
Bye guys.
All right. Bye.